Ready? Start. Jawaharlal Nehru expressed in remarkably clear terms the basic difference between the approach of science and the manner in which society likes to function. He said, "What ultimately does science represent? I suppose the active principle of science in discovery. And what is the active principle of any social framework of society? Normally, it is conservatism of remaining where we are, of not changing, of just carrying on. Thus, we come up against a certain inherent conflict between that principle of society, which is one of continuity and conservatism, and the principle of science, which is one of discovery, which brings about change and challenges that continuity. The result is that the scientific worker, although he is praised and patted on the back, nevertheless is not wholly approved of. He comes and upsets things as they are, and we see that, normally speaking, science seldom has the facilities that it deserves, except when misfortune comes to a country in shape of war or the like. The growth and development of science and its successful application for human welfare take place only in an appropriate environment and thus demand changes in the structure of society so that it increasingly becomes less conservative and more flexible. The social transformation from a rigid traditional structure to newer, more flexible forms, the growth of the scientific culture and its application for producing economic change should, in an ideal situation, follow almost parallel, closely behind one another. In real life, social changes are quite difficult to effect. It is much easier to plant a modern scientific culture in what appears to be for it a wrong environment. This is done because of the strong interaction that exists today between science, technology, production activities, and provision of science services, and the knowledge that modern science and technology make these operations highly profitable and are forces for economic change. The existence of this scientific culture and the economic changes that it has led to, one hopes, will enable it to also act as a force for social change. The latter will take place only if there are equally significant efforts at other points, such as the transformation Gandhiji tried to introduce in the Indian situation. In these two lectures, I hope to explore them, and in order to ensure that I convey my thoughts to you not merely as an ideological or philosophical discourse. Stop.